What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's the Wager Alarm Friday Night Ticket. I'm your host, Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. It is time to start taking a look at our picks for the Golden Nugget, Wager Alarm Football Challenge, and the Westgate Super Contest. Craig, how are you? You've been studying the lines all week long. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm real excited for not only this live stream, but I'm excited for, of course, the Saturday games and Sunday games, of course, in the NFL, the biggest college football weekend of the season before we get to the really meat of those championship games and the bowl games. Of course, Alabama, LSU, Penn State, Minnesota, some real big games tomorrow in college, Howard.
Yeah, no, we're not taking Alabama, LSU. So because we're not taking Alabama, LSU, I got to ask you, I mean, this game is ridiculous. Do you have a lean somewhere?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Alabama in this one. I want to take LSU. It feels like the world is taking them, and usually I'll go against the grain there. And so from a contrarian point of view, that's what I'll do. I want LSU to win. I think the country wants LSU to win. I think we'd like to see a team knocked from the top, but I just don't see it happening in this scenario.
Okay. All right. I like it. What's the over-under on this one?
63.5.
63. Are you going over or are you going under here?
I mean, they've only scored 40 points like forever in this series, but Alabama's defense is definitely questionable. LSU gave up a lot of points to Florida a few weeks ago, so I'll probably go over this.
Damn. All right. That's just the lean, people. We are not picking that game for the Super Contest or the Golden Nugget. Obviously not for the Super Contest. Nevertheless, Craig, we got a lot of stuff to go over here. Let's just get right to it. We'll start off with the college games. Shout out to Monkey Knife Fight. Hey, what's up, Monkey Knife Fight? Thanks so much for all the prop games. We really enjoy them. If you guys want to get in on some of these prop games, fantasyalarm.com/monkey and get on in there. Get on in there. It's Monkey Knife Fight. Come on. There is no monkey. That's what they say on Sirius. Nevertheless, now we can move on. Let's get to it here. Let's start off with the college games that we're looking at. First game here in the Golden Nugget, Louisville. We're going back to the Louisville well. They are 6.5-point underdogs here, and we like them. We do.
I would have loved to get 7, which is what the line is now. This is also an indictment against the University of Miami that outside of the game against Florida State last week for the last month has really looked awful both on offense and defense. So Howard, Louisville's been pretty good to us for the most part this season. We've taken them twice. They've won both times. Plus 6.5 in this spot. I really think that Louisville's heading in the right direction. And Miami, I think they certainly could win this game, but they also have a ton of kicking problems they've had all season long. And of course, I live here in South Florida. I've been followed them. So I think Louisville can win the game. In all likelihood, this probably comes down to a last possession type game. We'll take Louisville plus the points, plus 6.5.
Right. Give me a nice close one there. I'm more than happy to be on that run there. All right. Next game, we're taking this big marquee game here. Yeah. We're talking about two undefeated teams, Penn State traveling to the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. We're taking them. They are a 6.5-point underdog to Penn State. Tell everybody why we're going that route.
Yeah, the line is also 7 in this one, and I do think that the crowd has to be a factor. Them being undefeated has to be a factor. A lot of people look at this game and say that Minnesota really hasn't played anybody, but the bottom line is they're a top 5 rushing team in the country. Penn State's really good against the run, so we're going to find out what happens in this game. But Minnesota's not going to stop trying to run. I think the crowd also gets behind Minnesota in this game. 60,000 people, biggest crowd they'll ever have to see a college football game at TCF Bank Stadium. The other thing that I like about this is because there's two defensive teams involved with a little bit of punch, I think that even if Minnesota is down 10 or something like that at the end of the game, that they can give us a backdoor cover. I would not expect to know the outcome of this one against the spread until maybe the last minute or two of the game, unless, of course, Minnesota gets off to a hot start. If they do, I really like our chances in this one. I think Minnesota does have a chance to win outright. It's a pretty big letdown spot for Penn State. They got Ohio State coming up in a couple of weeks. I can't see Minnesota just disappointing 60,000 people there. I don't care that they've played nobody. They've had a really strong season, their best season in history. And Penn State would be very lucky and very happy to get out of there with a 1-point win. I think that's what it's going to end up being. We're taking Minnesota at home in the biggest game of their lives, in the biggest game of that school tomorrow at noon, 9 your time.
I love it, man. I'm going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed watching that one. in maroon and gold. That's right, man. Golden Gophers. I even have a foam finger. You like that? I got
a Minnesota finger.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I got another finger here. You want to see it?
Oh! Easy there. Child programming here today.
Child program. We are family friendly here, people. Family friendly. So yeah, watch this live stream with your kids. 100%.
I do.
Great. Right? There it is. If I had kids, they'd be watching it too. Who doesn't want to see Uncle Craig? Who doesn't want to see Uncle Craig?
Of course.
Come
I
on.
even shaved before this.
Uncle Craig's your buddy. Next game we're looking at, we're going to an old friend of ours.
Yes.
We've won with them. We did lose once with them. I'm not going to lie, but we've taken them a few times, and only once have they disappointed us. They are not going to disappoint us again. This time around, Kansas State, they are a 7-point underdog heading into Texas.
Hottest team in the country right now. Kansas State playing great on offense and defense. There was some thought that after the Oklahoma win a couple of weeks ago, they would have had a letdown last week. They did not. Texas is going in the other direction, Howard. They're not playing for any kind of significant bowl game this season. They lost their chance a couple of weeks ago with that loss to TCU. Again, getting 7 points in this game, it's going to be very important for K-State's offense to get off to a good start. Another running team in the Big 12, not as much passing going on from them. But again, I like our chances. Texas, not only have they not played well, but they won a close game against Kansas a few weeks ago. Their defense has completely fallen apart. They've had some injuries and some issues also. This is just a down year, I think, for the Longhorns. Tom Herman, the head coach of Texas, great against the spread as a dog, bad against the spread as a favorite, and as a spread of as a head coach of a favorite of 4 points or more, his winning percentage is about 40% overall historically. So we'll take Kansas State in this one plus the 7 points. Do I think Kansas State has a chance to win the game outright? Possibly. More likely than anything, I think this is a game that goes down to a field goal at the end. I could even see overtime in this one.
All right. Well, overtime works for me as well. Just keep it close. Keep it close is all I'm asking for it. Next game is actually the only college favorite that we're taking out of the games today. Craig, there's an arm behind you.
Yeah, I see that. Anyway,
San Diego State 17-point favorites over Nevada, University of Nevada. So I did a bunch of digging on this one here.
Thank goodness.
I'm glad you appreciate that. San Diego State, amazing against the run. They've got like a top 5 run defense in the country. Their pass defense is okay. It's good. It's not great. But here's the thing. We're going up against Nevada, who scores fewer than terrible. 20. Yeah, they're terrible. They score fewer than 20 points a game. They're giving up almost 35 points a game. I look at this game here. I don't know how they're going to score. Now, I'm a little nervous about the over-under on this one because I think it's like a 30. It's a really low number for the under.
Yeah, well, San Diego State, Rashad Penny, they're a running team. They just run the ball. They play great defense. Every 2 or 3 years, they end up winning 8 games and going to a bowl game. This is probably one of those years because they're still really good defensively, but they're facing off against Nevada team that's really having a hard time. So, I don't know. The question is, how many points will Nevada score in this one?
Well, that's the thing.
I think that's the whole because I don't think San Diego State's going to score many times, too. It's the lowest point total on the board, 38.5. Nevada's 5-4 on the season, and the most points they've scored in a game this year was 41 against San Jose State, but San Jose State plays no defense. We'll talk about them in a minute against Hawaii. They beat New Mexico 21-10 last week. They lost 31-3 to Wyoming. They lost 36-10 to Utah State. They lost 54-3 to Hawaii, a team that plays no defense. So there's no question that San Diego State's going to win this game. It is a matter of, does Nevada at the end of the game, are they able to muster up a touchdown or two? I don't think so. I think that San Diego State wins this probably by 3 touchdowns.
I'll take a 28-10 game here. We're laying 17, which is tough. 28-10.
I don't think Nevada gets 10.
But here you go. You ready for these? How about these numbers? You ready? San Diego State 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games following a bye. They've won and covered 3 of their last 4 meetings against Nevada. Nevada 1-3-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall, 1-5-1 against the spread in their last 7 conference games. We can also go 1-5 in their last 6 games following a straight-up win for Nevada. The numbers are piling up here. As Nevada, here you go. 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 road games. 0-3-1 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. Give me San Diego State. Let me lay these points. Listen, 3 scores is never something that you want to lay when you're looking at such a low over-under, but I have zero faith in Nevada here. Zero.
He'll text me third quarter. It'll be 17-3 San Diego State. And that's when it'll be determined. Will they score a touchdown and make it 24-3 and we'll cover, or will it be a kick, a field goal to push? It'll be around that.
I never text you mid-game, and I never text you mid-game.
I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Have you? No.
I've texted you in the middle of the day, but our games have been over.
Yeah, I think so. So. We need more. We need some good texting tomorrow. We need some good wins.
You want to do some good texting? All right. I'm the gift master.
Last week, I would say, was the only week, and I'll be transparent with this, was the only week the whole year that we did it that I was a little mad at you. The only week, because I in a way, without getting into too many details, kind of took your advice on the Bears. I was like, you know what? Howard is probably right here. I'm not thinking this through. I mean, it's true. I mean, they're getting 5 points. I mean, they're not that bad. And I was cursing you, and I'm like, what am I thinking at halftime? They looked so bad. And I was like, and I took a deep breath, and I thought, it's a long season. It's 1 game. It's no big deal. But that was the first time all year, 3 months. I mean, you could curse me every week with these bad picks I have. But
I will neither confirm nor deny that any cursing of you has ever happened. But
that was the one last week that I looked at the half, and I was like, what? What? I mean, anyway, but again, let's keep it rolling. Okay, so San Diego State, the last one, San Jose State in college, correct?
Last one, San Jose State. Okay. That's right. Plus
Hawaii's 4-17 as a favorite in their last 21 games at home. For whatever reason, they just don't play well in Hawaii. I have no idea why. They seem to be able to go on the road and do well, but whenever they're laying points, they're not succeeding. San Jose State, by the way, which is in your neck of the woods, has been a horrible college football program for about a decade. But this year, in particular, they have found something, and they have started to score a lot offensively. I think there's too many points in this one, and I love getting an extra hook. There's no doubt that at some point this game is going to look ugly. It's going to be 17-10, 17-17, 24-17, 34-20, 34-30. It's going to be just a wild, wacky scoring game. I'll be sleeping for the end of it, I'm sure, but we will take San Jose State and the points plus 7.5. And this is the most college games that we've picked all year long in one slate. But again, with all these bye weeks in the NFL, I mean, at some point, the decisions are a lot easier to make in college.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I was perfectly fine taking the extra college game this week. So there you go. Louisville plus 6.5, Minnesota plus 6.5, K-State plus 7. San Diego State minus 17, San Jose State plus 7.5. Those are our 5 college picks for the Super Contest. The 2 NFL games, well, first of all, according to the Golden Nugget, the line here is Chiefs minus 4. I'm looking at the line right now. I'm seeing Chiefs minus 6. Patrick Mahomes has been announced that he is going to play. I could even see this line going to 6.5.
Yeah, I think that this is a value play for us. If we're going to get a 2-point advantage on a line, I think we just have to take it regardless of, I don't want to say how we feel about the game, but in the NFL, when you're getting an extra 2 points in a contest, you got to do it. So, and in this case, we're getting 2 and 2.5 with Kansas City. Look, Tennessee is a very tough team to read. Carolina last week, I had them in a pool of some kind. Was watching that game, and you know what, man? As well as McCaffrey played and as well as Carolina played, because they have Tannehill now and they don't have Mariota, he does drive the ball down the field. Now, he takes way too many sacks and he throws way too many picks. Yeah. But there's that element of the game where even when they're down 2 touchdowns, there's still a chance that Tennessee can come back. So I feel better about them going forward than I did with Mariota as quarterback. But the reality in this one is I think Mahomes seizes this opportunity, man. I think that Kansas City has a real chance to roll in this game. And I mean, I think it could be a 3-touchdown game. And if not, all we got to do is win by 4. in this to get a push, 5 to get a win, and now you're laying 6. You're right. By kickoff, it'll be 6.5 for sure.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that analysis. The funny thing is that this is going to be one of those moments here where either Mahomes is going to go down with an injury in the first quarter because he takes a shot up to the knee, and we know, and we just bye-bye, or he turns around and he rolls, and we knew it all along. So I'm gonna go on that side of the table there, and definitely go with that. And I love it. The next one that we're looking at here for the Golden Nugget, Steelers plus 3.5. We've been home dogs here right now, but again, the Steelers as dogs have been very, very good to us this season right now. And listen, you look at their defensive numbers, and I'm talking about turnovers, I'm talking about points allowed, yards allowed, everything like that. If you look at the way the Steelers D scores from home versus on the road, this is a great spot. I also don't really have a lot of confidence in the Rams offense. Brandon Cooks is out. And again, what we've seen now is we've seen teams really understand what they need to do in order to get to Jared Goff and the Rams. And that is, let Sean McVay talk all he wants, but as soon as 15 seconds hits on that play clock and they can't communicate anymore and he can't talk in Goff's ear, then all of a sudden the defense starts shifting and they've got time to, make that happen and disguise some coverage. That's a problem for Jared Goff. He does not read defenses well. He's down a wide receiver right now. I look at this one and I say, I think the Steelers can at least take it within the point spread here, possibly even win it outright. Yeah,
the Rams have proven nothing to anybody all season long. Their wins have come against subpar teams. For the most part, Pittsburgh has played well. They've performed well against the spread. Pittsburgh laying a lot of points is obviously not optimal because they're missing their quarterback and now they're missing Connor as well. But Samuel seems to be a pretty good pass catcher for them. Yeah. Hopefully, Juju will play in this game, and that was one that caught me by surprise seeing that one today. The only thing working against us in this spot is McVay has been phenomenal off the bye. I think he's outscored the last 2 years the team's 81-13. I saw that or heard that somewhere today. But regardless of that, I don't think it's the same team. Gurley's not the same guy. Rams are not the same team. Rams will find their way to 8-8 or 9-7 this season, but they're just not a really good football team. So you get to the end of the game and the Rams kick a field goal and we get this thing and we take it home. And I really think that that's the way that it could play out in this one, Howard. So of our picks of the NFL, I will double endorse this one. I have no beef with it whatsoever. I really like this pick a lot.
And I love having the extra hook there. I love having the hook on that.
It's very big, especially at this stage of the game.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. That's the Golden Nugget picks for us. Now, as far as the Westgate Super Contest goes, we are doubling down on the Chiefs and the Steelers. But the funny thing is that the Chiefs in the Super Contest are only laying 3.5.
Yeah, that could be a factor too. It could if the game lands on 4. I feel good about that. We'd get a push and a win. Super contest. It is a little weird because the Nugget contest lines usually come out before the Super Contest lines. But look, sports books, Howard, they have to try and anticipate some of these things, and they kind of had to protect themselves a little bit when that practice report came out on Wednesday that Mahomes was the backup and Moore was the starter. So I kind of understand where they were coming from there. It wasn't a clear-cut thing really until Thursday. So we'll take advantage of that line again, and we're getting an extra 1.5, 2 points. You got to do it. So we'll take Kansas City against Tennessee, and we'll also take Pittsburgh again against the Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. Next games that we're going to. First one here. This one's making you nervous. It's making you nervous. You told me, you admitted it to me. You don't understand the line here. Buffalo Bills.
Yep, this is the tough one of the week.
Yep. Getting 3 on the road in Cleveland. Cleveland
makes no sense. This is the one. This is the one that I'm gonna guess will be the most picked game in the Super Contest or in the top 5. It probably will be because on paper, Detroit getting 3 this week at Chicago and Buffalo getting 3 this week at Cleveland. It looks like the wrong team is favored in both of these games. How in the world can Buffalo at 6-2 and play as well as they do defensively not at the very least be a pick-em in this game. But no, they are saying that the Browns are not a better team than Buffalo, but they've given them their 3-point home field advantage. And so, yes, it does make me a little bit nervous looking at this line because I don't get it. I think Buffalo's way better. I, like you, am completely done with the Browns. You want to go back and watch our live streams? We were probably the only ones in the country as our favorite pick 6 weeks ago, taking them to go into Baltimore and beat Baltimore. We said that here on the live stream. I mean, who would have thought that? But we had that one. That was a really bad spot for Baltimore, we'll talk about here in a minute. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I think we have to at least stay logical in this one and take the points with Buffalo. But again, it wouldn't shock me to see like it goes the other way. We'll be back here going, that's why the line was 3, you know? So much respect for Cleveland. Cleveland, a 4-point favorite at Denver. They get annihilated. And now this week, a 3-point favorite against Buffalo. What is this Cleveland love? I don't get it. What is it? What am I missing?
I have no idea. I have zero idea. And, listen, again, you said it with the Bears. I'm completely off with the Bears.
That one, too.
And wondering there. The only thing I can think of with that game is the fact that Stafford kind of struggles when he's on the road, especially in the cold weather. But you know what? Even that... It blows me away. But I think that the fact that you look at this line and you talk about how fishy this line is keeps us taking one game, the Bills, and not the other.
Can't do both because one of those is going to surprise us. But the one thing that I will say, and I'll throw this out there for the Bears, okay? I don't know how it will play out, but give me this scenario, Howard. You watch every game like I do. The Bears play the Lions, right? Lions are up 9-0 at halftime, right? They're pulling Trubisky, right? That's it. They're going to pull him, right?
Yeah.
And then Chase Daniel comes in. We've seen Chase Daniel be pretty capable in the games that he's played. A lot more capable than Trubisky. How are you feeling at that point? You're feeling okay about the Bears at that point, right? Right? Like against the Raiders? Like 100%. Against the Raiders when Chase Daniel came out in that second half and they were down 17-0 and they took a 21-0 lead? I got to believe that that's in this line right here. I have to believe that's in this line. That's why the Bears are favored, because I think Trubisky gets a quarter or two, and that's it. If they're getting shut out again like they were last week, they're going to make a change, and that's going to be the end. And Daniel has shown that he's not great, but Daniel's probably a better quarterback for this offense than Trubisky is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can't take that chance. Now, a better bet would be to take the Lions in the first half of this game. That's a safer bet.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're probably getting a point, and I don't think that they would make a quarterback change until the half. Anyway. No. All right, so we have those. So is that the third pick?
No, that was the second pick there. So first pick is the Chiefs. Second pick is third pick. Yeah, because Chiefs, Steelers, Bills. Fourth pick that we're taking here. This one makes me a little squeamish.
A little? This is the one where you can text me. This is the one.
Is this the?
This is the one where you're gonna go, this is a terrible pick. How did we ever do this? It makes no sense. But I am telling you now, it's my favorite pick of the week. It is my favorite pick of the week.
It screams backdoor cover for you then. That has to scream backdoor cover.
I'm in on the Bengals. I am in on the Bengals this week, historically speaking, against the spread. Teams that don't win in the first 6 or 7 games start covering and winning like crazy in the second half of the season. It starts to happen. These teams that play so bad in the first half, it evens out. They play the second half. Teams also rally around a new quarterback. Let's pray for this guy. I don't know anything about him, but teams also rally around a new quarterback. They're coming off a bye week. Baltimore's coming off a week where they beat the best team in the NFL. Cincinnati getting 10 home points. I want the Bengals this week. I think the Bengals have a chance to beat Baltimore.
I am only 50% endorsing this pick because I'm submitting it for the Super Contest. We won't waver on it. The only thing that you're going to endorse
is the text.
I will not. Yeah, I will not secretly send a different set of picks for the Super Contest in there and not tell Craig what we're doing.
I like the Bengals. I do.
I know you do.
It is a grand slam spot.
All right, well, listen.
Could Baltimore be any higher right now? Could they be a bigger favorite over any team in the NFL outside of Miami right now? On the road laying 10? No way. They shouldn't be a 10-point road favorite over it.
Okay.
This is a big overreaction to New England, a huge overreaction. And look, Lamar Jackson's great. I get it. I know he also missed practice this week. He was sick. I'm telling you, Bengals are going to show up for this game. They're not going to win probably, but they are going to keep this thing close. They're going to break the fans' heart in the fourth quarter. And AJ Green, stop with this nonsense that's going to swing it one way or the other. This guy hasn't played a game all year long. Stop enough of that, AJ.
And he's not playing this week either.
Yeah, big deal. That wouldn't have factored. If AJ Green was playing, you know what the Ravens would be favored by? They're favored by 10. You know what they'd be favored by? They'd be favored by 10. Wouldn't make any difference. None. Nothing. AJ Green is not a point in the NFL when you haven't played for 10 weeks. Doesn't happen.
Well, I got to be honest with you. See, I don't even think I need to send you a text during this game at all. I don't because
I'll be the one saying 17-0.
I think you'll
sorry,
understand.
man. Sorry, delete that live stream from the cloud.
Now, the last game that we're picking here for the Super Contest, this might be the one where you get the text.
Which is this one?
We're taking the Cowboys at home.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're laying 3 to the Minnesota Vikings.
Cowboys have not been our friend. I think they've been our friend. I think we're 50-50 on the Cowboys.
It would have been last week if we took them instead of the Giants.
Yeah, I wanted the Giants.
Did somebody not named Jim Bowden want the Cowboys? No?
Yeah, I talked you out of that. So,
here's the thing, though. But I'll say this, because when you look at the injury report and there's no Adam Thielen, that Linval Joseph is out for this game also for the Vikings, which means
that was the huge reason for me, Linval Joseph.
Is that what it is?
I don't even know what that is.
So it's the run defense. The run defense goes to crap when you're talking about Linval Joseph not being in this game. Not to mention the fact Trey Wayans is questionable, and it's sort of kind of pivoting to the side of him not playing. And with Michael Gallup taking off the injury report, that could be a very tough matchup there. We're taking the Cowboys. We're laying 3, and Craig's going to tell you why he likes them boys.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Kirk Cousins is going to go back to a pumpkin in this one. I think that this is one of those big game spots, nighttime game, prime time game, that he usually does not fare well in. And I know that he's played very well, reality, fantasy, over the last several weeks. He's become a good quarterback again. You mentioned Thielen being out. I definitely think that's a big factor here. I don't know how in the world last week, Diggs only had 1 catch, by the way, with Thielen being out. He threw to a couple guys I had never heard of before. Look, I mean, Dallas tends to not blow teams out, but they're only laying 3 in this one. And I think the game's going to be close. I don't think that we're going to know until the end of the game if we're going to win or lose this. I can see it coming right down to the end, but I see a Kirk Cousins interception coming at some unopportune time, and I do think Dallas wins, and we're going to lay the 3 there. I kind of like San Francisco on Monday night as well, so those are the last 2 games. But again, got to mix in your underdogs with the favorites for sure. Home teams, by the way, also dominated
last week.
Dominated. And
all 10 games. All 10 Sunday games.
And so what are we going to go against that? We got Dallas. We got Cincinnati. We got Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Got to ride the waves in the NFL. Got to put last week aside. And so Cincinnati it is.
Cincinnati it is. Who they think they can beat them Bengals? All right, so there you go, people. Golden Nugget, Westgate Super Contest. Here we go. Just to recap, for the Super Contest, it's Chiefs minus 3.5, Bills plus 3, Bengals plus 10. Steelers plus 3.5.
That's as close to the pie that I'll take as if the Bengals.
Cowboys minus 3. Yeah, you should take it.
No. I'm all in on the fantasy alarm pie stuff, and everyone in the world is now doing it. I've committed Thanksgiving week to jumping in and on Thanksgiving night taking a pie. If indeed that I've committed to Thanksgiving doing that, so I want to do a good one for you.
I'd like to thank our producer Matt Sells for making
sitting here for an hour and a half.
He takes that audio right there and makes sure that we can play that over and over and over again. Cowboys -3. That's the 5th pick for the Westgate Super Contest. There you go, people. Golden Nugget.
Forget all this stuff, people. Understand this. Tomorrow is Alabama LSU. It's like the Super Bowl of college football. You guys got to watch this game tomorrow. I know everyone's into the NFL and into betting and into fantasy. I mean, you're not going to. I mean, this has a chance to be the best football game played this year. Like
Minnesota is going to be the only 9-0 team not invited to the Big Dance.
That's going to be a great game too. Like this weekend is all about college football for me, and it's not always like that. Look, I sit and watch all the NFL games from morning till night too. But I mean, the Heisman Trophy winner is going to be decided on that field tomorrow. That's it. I mean, it's going to be Tua or it's going to be Joe Burrow. The total is 60, so Vegas is telling you you're going to get an exciting game out of this thing. It's probably going to be like 40-30, something like that. A lot of points. I never say, hey, watch a game. I'm saying it for this one tomorrow. I mean, people need to watch this game tomorrow. There's going to be 20 guys on the field drafted in the first 2 rounds of the NFL next year.
All right. Well, I'll be watching. You'll be watching.
I will be watching. Yes. After Little League.
We'll be of course, after Little League. I can't believe that the league let you play, Craig. That's awesome.
I know.
That's awesome. Way to petition the CYO. Good job.
I was at 40 and under there. I moved up.
You play in what position you play? Left out?
Yeah, I play
exactly.
I play AJ Green's IR.
Oh! On that note, let's get out of here. Big thanks to Matt Sells for producing. For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. Thanks for watching the Wager Alarm live stream on Friday night. We will catch you next time on Tuesday.